such that if you have concerns and you're in the audience and don't want to be seen, please turn your camera off. Inaugurated in September 2020, this series seeks to remediate the lack of presentations of speculative poetry by its living creators. Now, in its sixth year, the Speculative Sundays Poetry Reading Series has presented nearly 50-hour-long events, including 60 poet readings. Speculative poetry, ancient of days, older than the flood, the poetry of possibilities, centers the imagined as real. The first recorded human literature was speculative verse. Gilgamesh, the Ramayana, the Mahabharata. Speculative poetry includes alternate history, apocalyptic astropoetry, cryptids, cyberpunk, dystopian, fabulism, fairy tales, fantasy, folklore, futurism, horror, magic, monsters, mythology, occult, paranormal, post-apocalyptic, robots, romantasy, science fiction, shifters, slipstream, solar punk, solar funk, space opera, superheroes, supernatural, sword and sorcery, sword and soul, steampunk, time travel, utopian and weird. It takes all poetic forms, plus one of its own called sci-fi coup. So, from nursery rhymes to Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, from Puff the Magic Dragon to Zombie Jamboree, we've all recited and sung speculative poetry. This reading features Black poets whose work explores the Black, fantastic, and speculative realms as they share poetry engaging the intersections of many possible realms and African American freedom struggles, freedom accomplishments, that fraught and joyous space honoring Juneteenth. Juneteenth arrived late in my life, comparatively. I learned about it from other colleagues who are from the South. It's the day that the enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, were finally told they were free in 1865. This is after the passage of the Emancipation Proclamation 2.5 years prior. January 1st, 1863, right? All across the country now, Black communities celebrate culture, history, and progress. This is the 5th Juneteenth as a federal holiday. We hope it remains so. After more than a century and a half of striving for recognition. So that's the setting. Here's the poets. Our first one is Sherese Francis, who describes themselves as an alchemist of the imagination, finding expression through poetry, interdisciplinary arts, workshop facilitation, editing, and literary curation. Her works takes inspiration from her Afro-Caribbean heritage and studies in Afrofuturism and Black speculative arts, mythology, and etymology. Sherese has published 4 chapbooks: Lucy's Bone Scrolls, Variations on Seedling, Recycling a Why That Rules Over My Sacred Site, and Lady Liberty, Smashing Stones. She edited a poetry anthology, guided journal, Baby Suggs, and a Purple Butterfly. Sherese has received grants and awards from the Queen's Council on the Arts, the New York Foundation of the Arts, the New York State Council of the Arts, and the Caribbean Writer. as well as residencies from Works on Water, LMCC, Academy Schloss Solitude, and Sea Salted Honey in Senegal. Woo! Wish I could go too. And fellowships from Voodoo Knots and Baldwin for the Arts. Welcome, Sherese.
Thank you, Akua, and it's an honor to be here amongst all these wonderful poets. For Juneteenth, I thought I would read my poem in dedication to Harriet Tubman. The form of the poem, which you can't see, but hopefully in the future when it's published, is after another poet, Lorraine Van Cleef Stefanson's. She has a masterclass on YouTube on the Center for African American Poetry and Poetics YouTube page. She did a masterclass on her form that she created called Fugues Poetry.
Hmm.
And so I did my own version of a fugue poem as well. So this is called Prestidigitation, Sleight of Mind for Harriet Tubman. Harriet and Araminta. Mother, she calls me. Minty, a mind refreshed, deepened breath and hunger, woke up in the midst of a wound in the woods. I find myself where freedom was, drawn towards a truth unveiled, a clearing bright as the sun, a new name peeks through clouds, a glimpse of something, a harmony beyond a fracture, from a ravaging slammed open, from this enclosure. One. Records of a sojourner, Lepsy and Lemma, dreamer and general. 4. I identify as a wandering, the place where the water runs deep. Wherever I go, I keep returning. My temporal hallucinations, as they call it. A skull fracture created an entrance. Muskogee, Ogeechee, Ngula, an Ashanti dream book. I identify as a tracker of dreams, a language spoken around a river's mouth. Madness I've been knocked into, an ecstatic state dissociating from this nation. My father built this ecstatic state in the south facing the rising sun. My father could see what was coming. My father's swing of a right hand points me in the direction I need to go. My father, a pool of reflection I grasp at. I identify as a cacophony of trees talking and guiding me like a compass. I am held captive. I had been there, so I know I will be there again. The shock of capture has moved me, has intensified this need to. My body hears angels singing, Kumbaya, my Lord. On a Combahee River road, I am ready, wrestling with a self-proclaimed absolute power, the system in awe that I had made it this far, in awe that I could still dream of flying. A broken body can learn rationality in a regenesis. A starfish remembering a limb, a spider's silky memory reweaving its web, loss of this consciousness, vision, opened, sense projected forth, the imaginal records saved within a body, their rapid tempo, their beating impulse, mother's shudder, mother's exposure time, mother's patterning imprinted on my inner web into a wide open. Spy and scout. Her first God, body speaking back, deep in listening, found within, searching for information amidst sacred trees, a steering wheel, threshold cross. 2. New thought forms. This is my relative selves, a survivor of death's hounds, a teacher of past, a runaway seed, a mover of secret knowings, a healer of home, a cooker of futures, a dreamer reaching for the beyond. How dare you cross that line, they ask. I reply, I and my mother are one. Look at my hands. See if I was the same person. Sly. 3. Sly, what that means for a speculative spy. Sly, brambling briar, I know compounding weight creating another form. How do you know? Sluggish, disappearing, the heaviness of a wound, slow, don't see what I see, a striking message hovering in the air, sly boots and shawl trudging through mud, the hoot owl calls, woos, woos, woos. Another kind of quickening, the one unseen, slipping, what me am I leaving behind? Someone else slipped through. Sleigh, the shuttle, the sight, runs, floods, swing low, sweet chariot dancing on the weft of a loom, slay, the sharpness of a shuttle weaving the frayed threads of a body around into another form, the thorn in my flesh, a compounding shuttle, slack, the flooding of sight, mother draping the call around me, mother crafting freedom, moving across a field in search for information, all the ways the body is open, all in body takes in is sight. Sly fox outruns hounds. My hands looked. I've taken on another form, grasping for recollection in a before I am standing. Nurse and conductor, a mothering amends, stealing fire from heaven, other tongues, a covering, spoke a name and was healed, a ship grasping for stars, a newborn grasping. I looked at my hands in this ecstatic state, conjuring mind in a fiery flow, seized by memory's hunger, dissociative temporal. A before is drawn forth, and she disappeared. So that's the first poem, and I'll read one more poem. This is a new one I wrote during my Cave Canem workshop, and it was inspired by Nina Simone's For Women. And it's a new form that I created called a ring game poem, which is inspired by the ring games Black girls would play when they're younger. So this is ring game poem for women in outer space. Ride, Sally, ride. I carry a ship on my body, full moans, groans, hollers, tears, the taste of salt as cargo. I don't know where I'm going. Mapping my longings, rocking them back and forth, longings fermented like gari as far as they can go, as far as they can go, sauced up like pickle brine from a cellar, brought up trout-like from the sparkling depths, seasoning whatever they can cook up, whatever they can discover in a woman like me, explorer of worlds new and old, to her. My longing stirred on a little attitude. My longing stirred into my woolly hair. My longing stirred into my arms. My longing stirred into my patchworker clothes. My longing stirred into Thomas Green Pickett lead belly to sing. Others will enjoy what was once sung by me. Wayward woman riding around hunched with a world's weight of hurt whipped and scratched into her back. I don't want to weep and cry no more. And so I stopped in front of her. Ride, Sally, ride. I carry a runaway. I carry a stirring. Carry I, a turtle dove longing, weeping, crying for home. As in I'm going, I'm tripping, finding some crack of existence to live. Where? I don't know. Mapping a huge ocean of living and death. Mapping the spaces between stars into a constellation, the tidal blues of midnights, mapping forces into other longings, mapping forces upon a body. I be a longing with a little attitude, mapping forces, a story strayed and thus another can be conceived. My longings rise on the margins unseen. My longings rise from my kneeling in the water and sand too long. And I turn, stopped in front of her. Ride, Sally, ride. I carry hidden grooves, sounds of spoons banging on pots and pans, hands on hips, let a backbone slip, as in body shifting into girl, you something else. What's that? I don't know. wherever it takes me, wherever I can slither into the invocation and intoxication of a longing, mapping the sweeping motions of a tricky bramble. My longings are long walkers, strutting past. My longings are questions I rise to. My longings are what I can get hit to. What do you want? Me. What you willing to give up to get here? There are no ups, no downs. There is just here. Wayward woman making a way, making stars and moons and planets and whatever else out of whatever I can find. Shake it to the east, shake it to the west, shake it to the one you love the best. And I stopped right here in front of her. Ride, Sally, ride. I carry all that I could carry. I carry what I can carry. I carry what I carry. All right? As I should. What's that? I don't know. Could be a seed, could be a virus. Like I just growed wild from a celestial transmission and alien agitation hopping through space, one body to another. Could be a topsy-turvy surprise dolled up. Could be a Medusa apocalyptic Mustang, free Roman pharaoh signifying a woman. Could be an engine rumbling out of conception, and Amalia mixta, radiation bursting through after pulling that thorn out of my side. Could be a bitter bitch biting back with all her bee longings, free, fast, and loose, tossing them around. Could be field recordings, Hemp Hill, Lutcher, Angelou, Boone, Lily's Chapel School, mapping a joyful riot beyond a plantation system I am told to uphold, like it's my mother, which this nation stains, mapping the picked and plucked, mapping my uprooted and scattered memories. Could be Claudia throwing that damn doll away for an advanced biology. Could be an unknown organism stirring, could be whatever I name. Rising like a resurrected incarnation, rolling fermented, can't stay in one place. Where is my stolen tongues, my stolen bodies, my stolen labor? I'm looking for them. Could be I'm carrying on, drifting through the streets like a motherless child or a childless mother. Oh, I so wicked? Right. I learned from the best all the thieving tricks to steal away to be the story, the experiment that escaped. I be longing and a compass stirred on a little attitude. I switch back, will do my own thing. I'm getting the fuck out of here so I can step right there in front of her. Ride, Sally, ride. That's it. Thank you.
Mm, 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 mm. Oh my goodness. Such wonderful music, such energizing, freeing of us. Thank you so much, Sherese. Thank you. Our next poet is Miguel O. Mitchell, PhD, a Black speculative poet, science fiction and fantasy author, and retired chemist, as well as an artist. His poems have appeared in Amazing Stories, Dreams, and Nightmares, Eye to the Telescope, Sci-Fi Quest, Scarlet Dragonfly, Starline, and the year's best African speculative fiction. His poem, Wine Tasting on the Planet Ufahamu, received honorable mention in the 2024 SFPA Poetry Contest. He's been co-editor of the 2023 Dwarf Stars Anthology and is this year its editor. He's part of the Sauti Collective, writing poems for a shared universe based on African languages and cultural elements. He runs a monthly online speculative poetry workshop sponsored by the Baltimore Science Fiction Society, and Miguel's stunning collection, Surrealia, or maybe I should say Surrealia, is nominated, he'll tell me in a second, is nominated for the 2025 Elgin Award. Welcome, Miguel.
Thank you, Akua. Yep, it's Aurelia. You got it. So I I'm going to read four poems, and the first one is aptly named Juneteenth. Of these, only one has been published, and that's the one, Wine Tasting on the Planet Ufahamu, that was published in Faya. Juneteenth. Buried neath my brown skin, the genes of resilience and resistance. Exochattel erupted with extrasolar expansion. Corporations consumed, conquered, care crushed. Alien species displayed in zoos for the ultra rich. Broken bodies mined their own worlds for our bottom line. Till the war began. The word abolition is so old it was archaic. We painted it on our ships, inked it across our backs, but there was no need. It was printed in our DNA. Retrofitted Rex ravaged, reckoning released. Our spies silenced superiority with selective savagery. A wave of freedom propagated at the speed of folded space. Then the edge of the corporate empire crumbled under our boot. The last lingering lost ones on an unnamed planet are Galveston, Texas. Our troops made their way across the continents, sliced through the neuronet oppression, the free will silencer, announced in 1,000 xenotongues that you are no longer enslaved. When we left to go home to see our families and to mourn our dead, I sat in my cabin and drank something red. All right, this was kind of a follow-up to this called Didn't Wait. It took over 100 years to emancipate on some interstellar backwaters. Corporate chains of debt on black bodies, cheaper than uppity AI with their robot Bill of Rights. Why is the African diaspora? Diversity, equity, and indenture. Look at the Haitian, the Senegalese, the Ethiopian, the Nigerian, scattered seeds of ancestral solemnity, grown in alien rich soil, grown in alien soil rich with ruin, yet pulling futures out of finality. They'd built homes with despair-proof timber. When the troops arrived with the message of freedom, they found an unrecognizable people, merged with the extrasolar truths of their surroundings. Transafro Humanosaurus rex. Not short-limbed, though. They played cosmic blues with transcendent arms, stretching chords into the infinite in between, blasting racial strife into a singularity, dancing to tunes of triumph, all done by themselves. The army left in wonder, didn't know how to file the report. It was a chasm too big to fill. And my next is Wine Tasting on the Planet Ufahamu. Vintage from green exograpes of a genetically superior vine. Aroma of berries with a hint of rot. Notes of burnt homes, metal chains, and vanilla. Barren, nihilistic mouthfeel with a self-loathing finish. Vintage from blood red exograpes of a shade-grown vine. Aroma of coffee with a hint of tear gas. Notes of anguish, bitter losses, and citrus. Silky, shameful mouthfeel with a deja vu finish. Vintage from purple exograpes of a full sun-grown vine. Aroma of peach with a hint of reflux. Notes of bruised ego, acceptance, and allspice. Smooth, satisfactory mouthfeel with a clarity finish. And my last one is called Funk the Future. It's more of a slam poem. Woke up to a new day, sun charged, rage enlarged. Woke is my call to evolution, revolution. Force field blows back mind pollution. Sister, brother, gender fluid mother, cyber linked peace circuits flutter. Cosmic conscious, conscientious, consistent, loading those deep love coding algorithms, my spirit motherboard persistent. My being mad at you is about frustration. You're grown, but not a better nation. Stop giving hate fellatio. That seed you swallow, your death blow. Exoplanetary exegesis, New World thesis, skin tone obsession, infection, rejection. Generations armed, smash, warped reflection. No yoke, no whip, but still bound to their ship on my prepaid, no refunds extinction trip. Expelled indenture by megacorp, mumblemorph legalese. Future children of my mind, steer us towards true north, please. And that's it.
Thank you so much. It takes me a minute for the buttons. Yay, Miguel. Oh, that was joy. And yeah, I love when your words spear the flailing misorder. Thank you for that. Oh, this next poet, her name's Akua Lezli Hope. She's been in print since 1974 with over 500 poems published. I thought that was a great amount till I ran into a poet who told me he had thousands, but hey, one does what one can. Her collections include Embouchure, poems on jazz and other musics, Writer's Digest Book Award winner, Them Gone and Other Wares, Speculative Poetry, which was an Elgin Award winner, a Cave Canem Fellow. Her honors include the NEA, 2 NIFA fellowships, SFPA Award, Reisling Awards, Ignite Award, and Critter Awards, as well as multiple Best of the Net, Reisling, Dwarf Star, and Pushcart Prize nomination. She won NISCA grants to create Afrofuturist, speculative, pastoral poetry and to explore disability poetics. She created this series, now in its 6th years, and she edited Non Bono, an anthology of speculative poetry by BIPOC creators, the history-making first of its kind. Her speculative fiction is included in the groundbreaking anthology Dark Matter and in the celebrated Africa Risen anthology, among others. And her collection, Telepath, will be published by Gnashing Teeth Publishing next year. I'm so excited. It's first, thank you. I'm going to read the, I don't know if you call it a postscript, but I will read the postscript for the poem first. And it's Ebo Landing is a historic site at Dunbar Creek on St. Simon's Island in Glynn County, Georgia, where in 1803, 75 Igbo captives, after drowning their captors and running the ship York aground, marched ashore singing and walked into Dunbar Creek, committing mass suicide. 13 bodies were recovered. The rest remain missing. In 2002, the site was declared a holy ground. Ebo Landing. And this was nominated for a Reisling. Thank you. We are incomprehensible to you who feel only fear when you hear us. Spider silk on face, chill up back, which is a success, perhaps, to have both sugar and fat. To die of excess and sloth, not like we hungry wraiths, whose forgotten flesh was sinew, whose non-existent options were to live death or die living, whose path was clear, undo or be undone. Our drowned captors are silent. Their injustice muzzles them. We sang the song of home going, a freedom bound journey as we drowned with determination, deliberation, avowals to never surrender, to die and return from whence we came, from where we were stolen, to resist and not submit, calling to our God, Chakwu, for escort, for conveyance, for admission to the next phase, existence beyond this abominable land, out of reach of horrible hands. Those who would eat our souls, bite bit after bit, daily flay flesh from our backs, lynch us, take our babies, steal their milk, rape our young ones, remove our tongues, and in that terrible future in which you tremble by our whispers, lingering laments, you would believe such theft was chosen? And that is what frightens you. We refused to languish in longing. You hear our reverberating answers echo through the water, slow lapping sounds, waves creeping on the land, our avowals. We consecrated our commitment, how we said no with our lives for our lives, how we refused that hell on land, making generations of grist for the hideous mill of rogue capital, the codified caprice of robbers. We brothers, sisters, daughters, sons, clear-willed, strong-souled, liberty-led, freedom-fed, return to Mother Water, singing away open. Out of 75, only 13 were found drowned. The rest of us lifted, transmuted, flew. Igbo landing. Dogon. Even before the spit assessment, I knew. Ancestry said there was Molly in me. My Nomo stool had frightened a visiting preacher. Circle of many next to the ancestral couple, stoic, seated together, holding a point open for connection atop the cedar cupboard containing old percussive toys, glass xylophones, goatskin rattles, iron bells, reed flutes, kalimba, instruments of soft summonings that had calloused my thumbs, exacting a toll for expertise, or set an echoing stir within, urging me to play on. As the point held by the carvings widened into a star-pierced darkness, a remembered scent of warmed earth and sighing grasses, purpled and gilded below, figured stone escarpment. Sounds came from me, some unknown remembrance calling, singing into space, humming, homing, clicking and chirping, snips of something like song, as again an imagined window widened, became a dilating door that I stepped through. Dogon. A sci-fi coup. The golden record reached alien ears who came seeking soul music. The golden record reached alien ears who came seeking soul music. My mother, she ate me. This won the Ignite Award last year. Our mother was always eating us. She ate me. She ate all her babies, she said proudly. Through her we came, and to her we might return in bits. She made us and would tell me, I brought you into this world and I can take you out of it. One of her many threats, like wipe that smile off your face, watch your mouth, fix your face, which was hard to do having been bitten, but good therianthropic training for my shape-shifting future. I had a father, too. He could fix many things, and my face, he was brave and would do this while she was looking, but not so she could see, would tell me in my head, it's okay, baby, I got you, holding a buffer pattern of my original whole so I could be reconstituted and transmitted forward. Happy Father's Day. This is my last one. As Yemaya, and Yemaya is a goddess who made her way across the seas to America, and she's represented as a twin-tailed mermaid, the original mermaid, Yemaya. When I was paralyzed, my two legs felt as one, sparking something that began below my waist, disconnected from my will. They floated on their own in a sea of perception, embraced everywhere, sensate and sinuous. I swam up from brokenness into dream, darting in 3 dimensions, as unafraid of up as down, as skillful with left as right, my great lungs filled with air, my long arms strengthened with each sure stroke as I plunged toward my sister, pink and black leatherback, who does not blink as we match motions and dance. And all around me, light from water-crossing foremothers who did not fly, but swam and sang across hidden valleys and buried mountains as humpbacks do, all around the globe at once, in a chorus of continuance, history sharing, like right whales, who survived their Holocaust, carry memory for hundreds of years, outlive generations of miscreants and murderers, unforgotten wounds, now mere tattoos, and testament to what endures. And they told me, though land forsakes, consigns me to the chair, wheels me in the corner, beyond the edge, water, boys, and welcomes, and her wide board, crinolined flippers gleam in dusk, sparkle at dawn, flare at midday, beckon remembrance as she sirens, return as Yemaya. Thank you. Okay, our next reader, Up from Some Dirt, formerly of Louisville, is a writer and artist residing in Lexington, Kentucky, an autodidactic. Brother Dirt is an award-winning artist whose works have galleried in Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and Tennessee. Some Dirt is the author of genre fluid art and literature book Call, Caul, and Response, the chapbooks Tangerine Tubman, Chiaroscura Vitae, and the Time Unravelers, travel journal. Dirt's full-length collections, affectionately and perhaps infamously referred to as the Rainbow Excrement Trilogy, include Deifying a Total Darkness, To Emit Teal. Love that play. And the second stop is Jupiter, which is how I met him. In 2022, Up From Some Dirt was inducted into the renowned collective of writers, the Appalachian Poets. Welcome, Up From Some Dirt.
Thank y'all. This is an honor to be here. Can y'all hear me? Everything's fine? All right. Y'all are some fabulous poets. I just love listening to everything y'all have done. And the singing, the humming, I can't carry a tune. So there'll be none of that on my end. Uh, and I'm jealous of those of y'all who have, my best poems are like 12 pages long. And I've got too much of a mush mouth to even want, I'm not reading those. So no, I trip over my own tongue too much for all that. But I'm going to read today from my first full collection, Deifying a Total Darkness. And I might read from the latest one. Second stop is Jupiter. I got time. This first one is a long sonnet. The Haungen Space Capsule. And I'm going to do my best. I've lost my glasses again, so I'm basically, even with all this light, I'm seeing in the dark. The spacesuit explodes, petals cascading, black with purple tips, a roiling heat since liftoff. The astronaut was a houseplant, every petal a Ghanaian medal, the gold medallion, and then elaborate for the bottom lips of non-white poets, drifting throughout their diasporas. Each stem a song, however it's said in space, no one can hear you theme. The metaphor denied metaphrase, unless, of course, they now you. Not unless, of course, they hear you. Once they hear you, they have you, gifting you their vainglory for light speeds. Stardust collapses into your standard chorus. The soft, pale torso of James T. Kirk and his angled jaw in opposing orbits around mournfully distant suns. And the observatory, lonely, warps away. The black astronauts left, straining at stars. Left to decipher oxygen levels, the uncharted ode, soft allegories, useless for wonder or habitation. This oversampled earth, unfit to map, explore, habitat, populate. So we terraform home landscapes made alien. This poem is 1369. It's a mashup of 18th Dynasty Egypt and Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man. 1369 was, of course, a major year for the 18th Dynasty. And there's also a number of light bulbs that existed in the overhead space of Ellison's hero. It begins in 1371. I don't know how to tell you to feel, compelled loving me, to copy and paste, to save a positive JPEG of us to your Pinterest, to paint a quaint spouse black. Seeing gardenias, not gunpowder, in orbit, crowning the heads of her brown babies. Ruminate with romance on the elegance of her earlobes, her stretch marks, her keloids. Every poem her constant companion. Her carriage across every threshold. Our mouths her entryway to privilege and the life of promise. Our songs to her as play in beds of rosebuds and pomegranate seeds, her kitchen's common kink, East cast in diamonds and pearls on the highest of billboards. 1370. Akhenaten knew the worth of a simple narrative, monopolizing light and power before heathen scribes misinterpreted and made his single pantheon monotheistic. 1369. Whitewash Jones precursed invisibility, his harmonica a shadow of self, his immortality a magic arc, Nkrumah in the dust. In the left corner, the incessant challenger, Lucas Beauchamp. In the corner to my right, Bigger Thomas, our inferno champion. Twin bevels of a Plymouth Rock, or so said a signifying chimp. Planet of the Epiphanies. But I'm not a simian, said the semiotician. Monkey sees what monkeys do, says the gorilla. Anansi with the laughing face. A blood-borne jazz, blaring this nuisance of neon, ruining the sheen of Mr. Clean's marble. We are mosquitoes in the ears of monstrous Zeus, fearing our bite when we've only come to buzz. Self-paregoric, we've learned to praise the pathogen, leviathans in leisure suits with canopic jargon, your diaphanous icons and dim dandies, circumcumulus in nature, telling us where to apply the baby powder and assumptions of service. Black people with brushes of rouge. My eyes are watering up. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. Black people with brushes of rouge and the sole discretion of high cheekbones with a low brow. The hem-locked shoe polish is the black poet's eternal stanza. The million mosquito arch, the swarm song of sand and asphalt, so feral as we are floral. Said to be inconsequential with our serial slang, the artless with the gargoyle's yodel. Nacreous words that gargle the condensance of sun, sculpting fractals of God from geometries of sorrow. See, it says so right here, written in Central African Sanskrit on the back of some Kentucky slaver's bill of sale. It's just, you have to hold it to the sky in full light against the sun where all will see. And this is, I'm always trying to be a love poet for some reason. Even I would slip a love poem in some of the most, well, probably where it doesn't need to be, but this is an end of the world, full apocalypse love poem. After the electromagnetic pulse has failed to kill us. If, and once we've awakened, covered in mucus, dark as the end of days, and slither limbless one across another in unearthed postulation, every pore a new property, and you crawl to me for requisition or appropriation, for confiscation and seizure, our dead eyes crushed with carbon, having grown accustomed to the long dark empty of this unrenewable world, our slow skins dispersing nitrogen and other atoms blackened and airborne from a crestfallen heaven. Up to our breast meats in the remnants of a crumbled apart moon, tonsils thrashing in labyrinths of neon, our teeth rendered soft and mute and unable to contain the properties of speech. The phosphor grown vascular and pulsing deep down within our throats, with only touch and tongue to radiate syllable, singing odes through our damp lubricious pelts, our digital prosthetics made sulfur and claw, the metallic gods starved until coital and fertile. in the wireless obedience of our humid, vulgar breath, where bloodletting is the only return to light. After entirely the old prior order is a broken apart ember, our bodies, shrapnel and soft spot, as valley for some small warmth in cities of ice forged on fallen him, while the low-hanging limbs above throb, though bereft of fruit, these barren boughs passing for sky, with every sea set to boil, where we shed skins wet with desire, a manifest devouring. After all and once and nothing else, after all and once and nothing, everything. If, by definition, civilization remains for us a rapacious comfort, then might we as one reclaim clinging in such a comfort, planting ourselves in whatever shapes remain considerate to us in soft conjugal repast. Once in dark repose, the universe is permanently failed. May we lean still in the unctuous shimmers that loving each other in all wisdom has left behind. Your kiss, a sweet sack of seed and ash to my lips, the lascivious and the insidious sweet balm of if a clabbered sweetness still prevails. Here, the earth giant dreams himself a cloud. My proclivities are the soft umbral opening of mouth in unmetered prayer. Not you, no unnecessary ibit at the tail end of this treatise. I will not be referenced away. I stand within time, atop time, like a self-replicating Genesis. The goal for centuries to pass. My pallid bones bleached with sun, for my muse, Stygian and corpulent, her heavenly heft atop my skull, Akhenaton on her knee, weeping nostalgic for our talons of love, her wings heavy and wet with tears, her limbs a soft river of woe, enfolding with thick lips, an opulent tongue a quiver, revealing my name. And this is how the everlasting comes to me, with steering winds, a trembling leaf.
Thank you.
Is
You,
that my time?
oh,
I was gonna try to squeeze one more in, but
all right.
oh yeah, that's
You,
fine.
you, you stopped and it was your time. On the other hand, if you have one more and it's not going to,
No, that's fine. I am done.
oh, sorry. Oh my God. I didn't mean to.
I'm the, I am not good at reading, so it is on me.
You were wonderful. And I was just, I mean, hopefully you'll get to read the comments that we made while you were writing. An incredible word artist, and there's applause. It was wonderful. I mean, thank you. I enjoy you every time I hear you, and I know that I'm not alone in doing that. So get used to it. There'll be more. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Thank you so much, because I was, you just do that thing you do with words that turn them inside out and upside down, and you create these stunning, eviscerating metaphors. And I was just like, I don't know you very well, but only Up From Some Dirt will have will lead us through Armageddon and guts in the love poem. And and that and yet it all coheres, and it made me laugh, and it makes me smile, and I admire your art and your skill so very much. So thank you so much. Our last poet for this young evening, where a gray day though it is, there is still light in this part of the Eastern world. eastern part of the US, is Jacqueline Johnson, who I've had the privilege for knowing for a long time and have admired her work from the beginning through now. She's a multidisciplined artist creating in poetry, fiction writing, and fiber arts. A Black Earth Institute fellow, she's edited and been the contributing to any number of issues of About Place Journal. She's the author of A Woman's Season and A Gathering of Mother Tongues. Her work has appeared in many places, including This is the Honey, an anthology of contemporary Black poets, Dear Yusuf, essays, letters, and poems for and about one Mr. Kamanyaka, and Baby Suggs, you heard this earlier, and a purple butterfly, among many, many others. Welcome, Jacqueline Johnson.
Thank you, Akua, for the warm welcome. This has been a great reading. I'm feeling like Atlas, like I gotta hold it up. I'm going to start with a poem from my first book, A Gathering of Mother Tongues, and it's simply called Premonition. I am dreaming in colors. It is raining everywhere. Fat fish flicker across a lake. Somebody is very pregnant. And then I'm going to read Earth Daughter from my second book, A Woman's Season. And it's in 2 sections. 1, motherwort, lobelia, sassafras, nettles, sage, alfalfa. Southern belle lifts up tangerine sky with that hat. Peek out under its brim, confident and strutting. Instead of dogs, maybe they are your familiars, bouncing in joy-filled abandonment, coldness of dew on their paws and noses. Sister, they call you. Anything green you can grow. Babies lingering in the womb fall into your open hands. Women, men, and children gladly swallow steep teas made of weeds, trees, and herbs. Mulliang, burdock, cumin, shepherd's purse, rose hips, peppermint. Your spirit a beacon to the river's hidden waves. All illnesses have free roots, greed, guilt, and hate. Early morning walk to meet the others in a lavender field by the river. There is nothing the water cannot handle. Everything you bring her, she can score. What sorrow, what pain is too much? Bring it to the river. She can carry you over it and more. 2, tears that formed rivers, rivers we swam across, healed and whole. I come from a clan of seeing women, ancient and new at the same time. Sister, just because you see across the veil does not mean you forego the journey. Each step as precious as the one before it, each herb a brass bell unto itself. Wicked spiral of energy swerving through us all. Healed everyone across the county for 2 generations. A woman then could be that whole, could be that giving, could be that giving. I'm going to read from Baby Suggs and a Purple Butterfly, which was edited by Sherese. And I'm going to read a poem called Freedom. And that is in 3 sections. 1, not 2 seconds out of that wagon, and I know one thing. I'm free. I own me. I own this body, these deep brown arms and wide hips. And I own my legs, broke down as they are. They're mine. Bless my legs. I ain't bless my legs. I ain't never seen my face. I own it too. Bless my name, Mrs. Baby Suggs. Dan Master Gardener, Worked for him over 10 years and he still don't know my real name. My name is Baby. Baby Suggs. Not Jenny. Not Jenny Whitlow. Baby. Baby Suggs is my name. My husband's name. The one that run away. Henry Suggs. One I'm looking for now. Phew. There are many ways of knowing. My way of knowing was to listen to the heavens, observe the shifts and scent in the wind, the way a bough shimmered in noonday sun. The messages came through air, allowed me to see what's coming. May not always call it by name. That morning, nothing I did came out right. Curdled eggs in my pudding, two dead baby hogs in the yard. The meanest energy among the newly freed was so thick I could barely see clearly. How you gonna get past an anger 100 years deep? An anger erupting at the first sign of joy. Tried over and over, I could not clear the darkness. Just a few minutes warning from the ones on the road would have saved Seth and that baby, boys and all. Used to be folks had each other's backs. Not these country city Negroes. Let envy be their everlasting God. They come to my house, eat up all my food. Don't even have a gesture of kindness, not a one. Stand paid, and I was gazing upon the waters instead of the land and its near holy greenness, looking for a sign, any sign, when those slavers came looking for Seth. Maggot men, so sure of themselves, had a wagon and a gun. Three. Damn, Seth, how's she gonna try and kill all my grandbabies? Kill all my futures. Kill all Hallie's futures. Seth cut four. I saved three. I couldn't save the baby girl. Seth carried the last one in her womb with her to jail. I don't know if we'll ever get that one back. And then the last two poems I'm going to read are from the Evergreen Review. It's an online review, so you can go to the Evergreen Review online, and it's a great lineup of work. Um, this is called Oracle Series 3. How many times has she gone through the cosmic maze of rebirth? 100? She had so many names: Mama, Dita, Nana, Iya, Aloje this, Aloje that, Queen, Daughter, Naima, Mistress of Secrets, Sangoma, Seer, Storyteller, Liar, Witch, Diva, Bitch, Poet, Kali, Mayuisa, Girl, Mary, Sister, Woman come here, Divine One, Infinite Beauty, Yemaja, Sarah, Oracle, on and on and on they call, praying, searching her many endless paths, calling her many long lived names. And the last one is Reading at House of Oshala. Oshala is the god of white cloth. Um, 1987, Bahia, Brazil. Ten miedo. Are you afraid? She says, putting white warm calories in my hand. I release them, fixated on life-size African guard carvings lining Tejero's walls. Just as fast, she puts them back in my hand over the Ifa tray. Our hands do this dance 3 times. She calls on her ancestors, my ancestors, and some saints who don't know me at all. Here one finds old languages no longer spoken in Africa. My Gitri rice covered in cassava, and the longest white cloth I have ever seen. Is Marian Anderson alive? She asks. Yes, very old, but still here. She is relieved and pleased. We are talking over millennia, lifetimes, connecting small anago beads of wisdom into an ancient necklace. Ah, thank you.
Have you ceased? No, I don't want to make this same mistake. You have one more, do you not, Jacqueline?
I don't, but I could come up with something.
Oh, no, no, I won't do that. Oh, see,
I don't have an extra
you
poem.
see
Done.
what I am so gun shy. It's like, shoot me once and I'm going to jump every time the pistol's raised, whether or not it's pointed at me. Thank
No,
you
get over
very,
that.
thank you very, very, very much because yes, that bound us together, that soothed us and collected us and connected us. And this reading, I hope those who listen noticed how very different we are and similar we are and engaging in the what is, what might be, wrestling with transcendence. I am so grateful to you all for doing that, for being here, and for sharing. And for those who came to listen, thank you for coming as we celebrate Juneteenth, the recognition of our freedom from bondage and our ability to transcend, continue, and create, all of which is needed now in this moment more than ever as we resist being re enslaved. So I urge you all to do whatever you can, however much you can, and think of it as something we do daily as citizens of this earth who want to ensure that all may continue to breathe free and know liberty. And with that, I wish you all peace, my gratitude for listening and participating, and that all be well. Good night.